Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your host, Mike Ruler 31. Xfinity race today, just a couple housekeeping things. Sorry about last week. I tried to get a video done. New laptop wasn't connected to YouTube Studio, so I couldn't get it uploaded. So I apologize for that. I think I got it fixed now. So if I'm traveling on location, I should be better able to get videos out during the season. So, second thing, truck race yesterday was pretty good, and then it turned into a disaster towards the end. I actually had a decent lineup with what I built, so I didn't play super heavy because I was on the road, but I did definitely made some money, especially in multipliers and double ups there. Um, and I was doing really good until like I just got wrecked, and I took Munez as a punt, and he and actually Brenninger were having really good days in the top 20 until both their trucks had mechanical issues. So that's kind of disheartening, but shows some potential there if their equipment holds up that maybe they are um, have some upside going into next year, as I said in the video yesterday. And I think if the bus stop just like was just was chaos. But I did like that they put the starting zone back a little bit so you don't have so much chaos going into turn one. And I think that made the restarts a little bit smoother and helped the field be a little bit more competitive. But they got to figure out the bus stop, at least in the truck series. So we'll see how Xfinity Series goes here. It's not as loaded with as many cup drivers. There's a couple ringers in here, but it should be a really nice race. And unlike truck, like we actually had uh, three road courses, four if you count Chicago, but Chicago doesn't really profile as well as flat as the streets are. This one at Watkins Glen is probably one of the higher speed ones with just the way the hills and stuff work out. So Sonoma, I think, is always the best. Like those two to me are always the most classic road courses. Mexico City matches up well, and then Coda earlier in the year. So you have like three to look back at for some data just to kind of see how people have been performing this season. So turn your eyes over to the left of the screen to the start column. You'll see a lot of different colors there. The green are people who have won races. So with only a couple races to go again here before we hit that the playoffs, then it's going to be very important to try to get some stage points here or to get a win for those who are looking to advance if they're not already locked in. Let's see how many more races. NASCAR.com has not been working on the playoffs. Okay, so September 2nd, well, starts September 12th. So one, two, three. Okay, so four races. So it's starting to get to be crunched. We have two, four, six, eight places locked in. I believe they take 12. So that gives you a good idea of how many. So they take 12. So you've got four open spots still. So right now, the ones in the yellow have at least 67 points above. So they should be safe, but with four races to go, a lot can happen. One was Daytona. So definitely a wild card in there still. So the yellow one should be, but definitely would like a win or to get more stage points to be okay. The ones that are in orange, Swalich, Eckes, Thompson, and Alfredo are kind of on the bubble. The ones in brown, like Burton, Sieg, Judd Burton, they are the ones that actually no, the brown ones here, Burton, Sieg, both Burtons, and I thought there was a thing. Oh yeah, Swalch up here. They are really close to the cut line. They're less than 100 points, so they're definitely doable. The rest of the ones in orange here are drivers that could get a win potentially and get in, and then the red ones like would definitely need a win, but the possibility of them getting a win here is probably pretty low. So as I go through, I'll kind of refer back to this. Here, you always watch these videos, like the blue are proficient in road courses, the brown are kind of like road course ringers. They're brought in specifically to run on road courses, or they're very good at it. So we'll start with Shane Van Gisbergen up top. He has just been dominant in the Cup Series, dominant last year at road courses, very good. So He's finished second in Sonoma. He didn't race here, I don't believe, in Mexico or Coda, but did well in the Cup Series. So definitely one that's probably going to get the pole and probably going to be a contender for the win. So definitely, and road courses, as you see here, there are no dominator points. They don't run enough laps. The laps are so long; they're like 2.5 miles or something like that. So there's only probably like 100 laps in this race. And if you do find the person that does lead all the laps, then of course that's definitely um, something that you probably want and probably gonna be the optimal lineup. But in other cases, like it usually doesn't add up to as many DFS points. You're really looking for finishing position and take place differential where you can. And that's why I did for trucks and it worked out. So Van Gisbergen, definitely a solid play. If he doesn't start up close, then he's probably going to be a prime play because you're going to get place differential and probably great finishing position with a very good chance to lead at some point and win the race. Allgaier did better at Sonoma, but Mexico and Coda just not the results we've used to with him at road courses. He's usually pretty good, but I have him as a GPP upside dominator just because Zilich behind him has been like without Van Gisbergen in there, the class of Xfinity on road course. He ran the truck race here yesterday and he got pushed off a little bit and he was pushing too much at the end, but he was up there, definitely in contention and definitely a threat to win it at some points of the race. So first at Sonoma, first at Coda, fifth at Mexico City. So I think he's definitely another one too. And do I mind pairing Van Gisbergen and Zilich together? No, because Bell and Hines started 1-2 yesterday, and I don't know if they were in the optimal, but they ended up finishing like 1-2 after all the dust settled, after a lot of things happened to knock them both out, like almost running out of field and having to pit or missing a turn and having to climb back through the field. The cream rises to the top at these road courses, especially at the end. If you have a bunch of green and white checker, a bunch of cautions, and a bunch of restarts, they're able to get closer together and get back up there. So I do not object to playing Van Gisbergen and Zilich in the same lineup. You'll just have to make sure that you have enough value to make it happen. Algara says GPP, but Sam Mayer I like also here. Sonoma and Mexico City, not not as good, but Coda, Circuit of the Americas was very good. Top five car has been very good. Has the win now, so can short pit before the end of a stage to get track position if needed. So there's definitely, I don't think they need to go for stage points as much as they can go for the win. They should be pretty secure here with a chance. They're actually fourth in the standings now, so they should have upside to go for the win. Jesse Love here also has a win. I think that you take Sonoma out of it. Like Cody was okay. Mexico City, or Cody was good. Mexico City was okay. Last year he was decent on road courses, so I think he's definitely got some upside at his price at 86. So if he looks fast in practice and looks like he qualifies well, then GPP in your player pool if you're playing in a 20 max there as someone that could potentially win or have a top five here. Austin Hill has been very good at road courses. Also, third in Mexico City, fourth in Coda. I thought about giving him the Dominator. I just like Sam Mayer a little bit more, but obviously, price wise, he's a good break. So keep an eye on him because if Mayer goes deeper in the field or doesn't look as good in practice with speed or in fall off, then Austin Hill is one that might take over that purple designation. Michael McDowell slips in for Josh Williams. I'm still sad about that. Josh Williams was like one of TK and I since we started doing videos many years ago. TK used to be my partner on these videos for FSi. Uh, we always like cheered for him. Not like he was our favorite driver. Like I don't own like one piece of Josh Williams gear, but he was just like kind of like the underdog that we kind of always cheered for. And then it was just brilliant when he left his car on the start finish line after NASCAR told him to park it at that Atlanta race. Getting to Collie this year, I thought he'd have a good shot, but it just didn't work out. So Michael McDowell is a really good road course driver from Cup. Comes down in the equipment. I have him as a GPP upside dominator just because I think you can't, it's going to be impossible to play him and Zilich and Van Gisbergen in the same lineup. So he might be a pivot off of one of them if you want to get a little bit different. Do Van Gisbergen and McDowell because they both have both cup drivers and don't care about stage points or anything. Or maybe Zilich and McDowell, or a combination of the three of them starting your lineup and then throw in the prime plays and then figure out who your last driver in is. Taylor Gray, I think, is kind of sneaky here too. Look at the consistency: seventh, second, and seventh, all top tens, and the road courses that apply here. So definitely, and he's one that needs a win here or definitely wealth. I mean, stage points might be something that he goes for, so that is not why I put a prime on him. I thought about him for a prime, but 9K, like you can't really get Van Ginsberger and Zilich if you need to into the same lineup. But I'll leave it up to you. If you want to go more balanced, I think he's definitely one, or in a GPP, definitely one that you want to look at. Sheldon Creed, again, like really close to the top 10 on road courses. The consistency is there if you look at the finishes. And I like him too because he's just hungry for that first win. Like the aggression's toned down, things have become more calculated. He hasn't been getting into as many stupid wrecks or as many dust ups with people. I think we saw the same thing like with Stenhouse and Chastain, where early on they just ran over everybody to get to where they needed to, and now they've really become accomplished drivers. And I think that Creed is there. I like the Haas team getting their first win. And now that that monkey's off their back, I think there's some upside. Um, he's in the playoffs right now. I think he wants to solidify again. That kind of scares me a little bit if they're going to be going for. That's why he's a GPP 10K guy and not a cash play with the consistency, but someone I definitely also would be looking at. So, I mean, if you want to go balance in a GPP and hope like Ginsberger and like Zilich take each other out and the high price cars don't work, then there's a nice range here with McDowell, Gray, and Creed to start a nice balanced lineup that nobody else will have. Which, if you're just if you think of like all the raw points that Zilich and Van Gisbergen might get together, plus then look at the scrubs that they're going to have to take to make the lineup work with the salary. And then, like I used to do this with Kyle Busch lineups all the time when he was in Xfinity and especially truck races. It was like 14,000 because you know who's going to win. But I would always think like, okay, what balance build could I build if he's going to get this amount of points here? Then him and the scrubs together, who can I put together to try to beat it or match it and have a little bit more floor and safety? And and it often worked. And then sometimes I'd like do split cash. I do one with like the Kyle Busch and then one with the balance build. And sometimes both worked out, and sometimes there were a couple times where he failed, and it worked out really well because I had the leverage with the solid cash build, and it actually got me close to taking out a couple GPPs. So like that range. Swalch is another one here too at 79. The price is good. He needs some work here to get in. He's actually down like 160 out, which is not insurmountable, but I think he's definitely one that needs to win and could win here. Look at this consistency in the top 10, third, sixth, and ninth. Ran well in the truck race yesterday also. So definitely one that I want to consider, especially if I don't know 79, like with Van Gisberger and Zilich in the lineup, but it might be a better play. Like I have Eckes as a prime right now at 82. If I need the $300, Swalch might be the guy. So I have to keep an eye on that. Brendan Jones, there's Brendan Jones tracks, there's not Brendan Jones tracks. Road course are not usually Brendan Jones tracks, so I'm not going to um, be playing him. Sammy Smith, another consistency here. Did okay in the truckers. I think he got into an accident or had like a mechanical breakdown or something. But again, ninth, 10th, 11th, consistency, 8,400. Like this is really good to look at for like the consistency of some of these drivers here really makes them like solid plays and ones that I'm going to consider above others in the same category for cash. Quaffle, I think, can also, but like inconsistency, like improvement you can see here through the course of it. But he's right on the cut line. Yeah, he's plus 93, so he's up there, but some really bad races could fall, and especially if a couple people get some wins. So that also could mean that he's going more for stage points and trying to get the win here, so it could be a little bit scary. Sanchez I have as a cash play because he should be like he's good. Yeah, road courses, this big machine. Racing has always been good on it, but Mexico and Coda were not good. Had mechanical issues and got into some wrecks. But fourth at Sonoma shows that there is the upside there. So I kind of probably like the consistency more of like Sawalich or Sammy Smith, but Sanchez has definitely got to be in the discussion. Riley Herbst is GPP, like fifth in Sonoma, 13th in Coda, and um, he's not Stuart Hossford. He's and sorry, it's Toyota Joe Gibbs. So definitely comes in with a better equipment here, and he is should be have the brown on it because he's a cup driver that's coming in. Uh, but I don't know. I'm not gonna give him the brown because I think he's proficient at road courses, but we'll have to see. He might be a cash play over a GPP play, especially seeing that he has run a couple road course races. And it looks like if Joe Gibbs is bringing him in to run in this car here, then he probably should be a cash play, and we can flip Sanchez here to the GPP. I think that's a little bit more. Again, this is speculation. We'll have to see how it really shakes out. I guess I like if you take out Sonoma and if you look at his road course driving and truck series, it was always good. I think like between he and Swalich, probably one of them be the prime, maybe both of them. If I do I try to build a lineup with like putting the top guys in, and I never recommend the top guys as prime unless they're starting deep in the field. Um, because I want the prime guys to be like the balance that you are able to put in to make your lineup work. I never want it where you want to try to play like Zillage and Van Dunsberger and give you three primes where you can't play physically fill out the rest of the lineup. So that's what my intention for the primes is to give you building blocks to try if you want to get the top end guys in to make it work. Burton, up and down on road courses, GPP. Guy, besides Sonoma, pretty consistent top 20. So I think GPP. Hardest is a ringer. I don't know if I trust the SNS green light with brakes or axles or stuff potentially going on this. Is a very good road course driver. I didn't find him in Xfinity at all this year, but in previous years, um, top 25. So if he's starting in the back of the field and doesn't look like a turtle slow in practice, then I think he's potentially someone that you could use as a punt. Ryan Sieg, road courses are not his thing. He goes out there and to survive in advance, and that's okay. Like that's how it is sometimes. Sometimes he does find something and have a solid day but for the most course, he's not super proficient here. Neither is Burton or Benedetto, and Clement used to be, but I took it away from him. If you look at how bad he's done this year, but if you look at like Di Benedetto and Burton. In Mexico, like they were okay there, but if you look at the other like true road courses in Sonoma and Coda, like you're talking like a 20th or 30th place driver. So this range here, I have Burton as cash just because his price and Jordan Anderson is usually a pretty good program for road courses. So you're looking at probably somewhere between 20th and 25th. I think the eight's an outlier. Um, so if he starts like below 20th, then I think Jed Burton is a cash play. If Jed Burton starts above 20th, then it goes to a GPP. Pretty simple there. Blaine Perkins and our Jordan Anderson won 19th, 10th. I don't think he ran in Mexico. Um, maybe he did. Maybe I just missed it. Um, but I don't really need to take the time to look that up now. But anyways, I think he can be a cash play at 58. He has been pretty solid in in road courses, especially at his price point. So Lane Perkins in the 31, he had to have run it. See here. Yeah, he did. He finished 27th, so that's a little bit worse than I thought. And Ryan Sieg was 29, so that fits in definitely where he where we expect them to. So that makes sense there. Dean Thompson, I go give the prime 7,000. There's a lot of consistency here too. 18th, 12th, 18th. Like I think I should put the primes up with the consistency here, but in the 7K range, that's consistency that I'm looking for. So, if he starts anywhere like 18th on down, he's going to finish where he started, should have a solid day, and should get you enough points with floor in your cash games to get you where you want to be. Alfredo, again, consistency also 6,200. 21st is around. If he starts in this range or below, then that's definitely where I want to lock him in as cash play. Retzloff has run really well on road courses, but got into accidents and got run off the road and had trouble and had mechanical issues. Can be a train wreck, but he has such upside. He had more last year with Jordan Anderson, but Alpha Prime has been okay. I think it's just a matter of time before you surprise us with a top 10 or a top five. Again, see how practice and qualifying goes. This 10K, if he's not going to look like he's going to be able to have some ceiling, is going to come off him and go on another driver. But right now, he's one I'm looking at there. It could go to Anuzita Thomas here. I just don't like the Cope family racing. Derek Cope's a great guy, and the team is okay, but just on these tracks that take a breeding with brakes and going over like bumps and stuff and seeing axles and pieces break, I just would prefer to have like a known commodity team. And 22nd in Mexico is not bad. Didn't race the other two, so and not the best, but 57 again. I think if anything, GPP or maybe the 10K if he looks dynamite in practice and qualifying. Austin Green, ton of upside. 10K guy might get the prime, but 75. I think it's too expensive. He has run really well for Jordan Anderson here in the 32. 11th, 7th. If you take out Coda, where I think he got into an accident and had some trouble where we all played him because last year he came out and did really, really well in Xfinity also on road courses. So he's had a consistent 2 years. He might end up a cash play if I have other 10K guys, and I feel like he's got like the place differential um, that we're looking for. But like I said, 75 is kind of getting into no man's land for pricing and not be able to get some of the studs in. So that's why I think he's going to be more of a star in the GPP, but he might be considered in cash. Well, if you take out Mexico, he's also been consistent on road course at 6,500 and a decent building block here. I wouldn't put him as proficient, but just knowing what you're going to get out of him, kind of like Alfredo, but you're saving. Well, actually, Alfredo's $300 cheaper, so Alfredo might turn into the prime here now that I relook at it. Um, yeah, let me switch those around. I just feel that Alfredo might qualify too high. But again, this is not what the real is going to be. We need practice and qualifying, but speculation that's what it helps always to talk this out here. Ellis, I think I have him as a fade, but looking at that, that's not bad. I mean, 16th, 27th again. We'll have to see what happens. Uh, Parsons I've always liked as a road course driver. Didn't do really good at Sonoma, but he has the upside. So he's one to look at too. Kelsey, good for GPP. Kaz Licky teaches people how to drive on road courses and has had some solid runs, especially at Sonoma this year. So I think they're in consideration as punts for tournament. Cass Growler, I think he can play cash. Didn't run this year, but he's always been good at road courses, and he's in a Sam Hunt car. So he's not in a DMG or GGM car. He's not in a single owned team car. He's not in the Young Motorsports car. He's not in SS Greenlight Racing. He's in a very good um, car. This is a subsidiary of Joe Gibbs, and he's a good road course driver and knows this track especially too. So I think he can be a solid cash play 6,900. Smithy, um, I just don't trust on road courses, and especially with the SS Greenlight Racing. And then Reen and Austin J. Hill. It's not the Austin Hill that in the 21. No relation, young guy. Has run a bunch of sprint cars and stuff, but he couldn't even qualify for Sonoma. He was too slow. And they're both in Joey Gase racing cars, which, like, if anything's going to break down, it's going to be these two. So I don't think they would make the field if they weren't 38 drivers. If it was 36 and Green and Hill, try again next week. But I don't think that they're going to do well at all. If you're playing them, their attrition plays. And even though the truck race had a bunch of attrition, there were some of the punts that were out well before that attrition happened, so they really didn't pay off. So just to kind of break it down again, I think Van Gillis, Bergen, and Zilich are the head of the class here. Mayer and Hill offer upside. There are two for dominators, and don't count out McDowell. I say dominators. I'm looking for people that are going to have high finishing position um, and potentially win the race. And for primes, like I said, I like Eckes, I like Swalich, I like Thompson, Alfredo, and Pool as like cheap building blocks to be able to get into those high price drivers. But like look for consistency here, like Herps, like Sammy Smith, like I said, Arson Swallich, Taylor Gray, um, Austin Hill. You just that's what we're looking for, not like these ups and downs. Like if there's one bad one, okay, maybe we can throw it out because things happen. But if you see like all over the place, like Sanchez, like fourth, 31st, and 24th, then maybe that's a little bit more concerning. So hopefully that helps you. If you want more information on FSi DFS, you can get into the Discord by going to the description of the video. Go to the website. Discord is free to join. It's on the right hand side of the website. Once you're in there, there's a free room called NASCAR Pool. And what I generally do, I'll update the primes, or sometimes I'll even throw the sheet like I did yesterday in. And there are some sharp guys in there also too that have some good commentary throughout some notes. So it's becoming a pretty cool like extra community that we have here. Or you can leave a comment in the chat below. If I have time, I'll go back and update who the primes are. If you ask for that. And then if you want more information, FSI, like I said, their subscriptions are really cheap. It's $5 for a whole weekend, $6 play everything today. So that's not bad pricing if you check out the rest of the industry. And then finally, these videos help us back, like, subscribe to the channel, and share with your friends. So I am going to upload this and get ready and go off to work at my other job. And then tonight I will get the cup video or early tomorrow morning out to you, depending on how late I get back from work. So thanks for watching. Good luck in your contest. Hope you have an amazing weekend. I'll see you next time.